Hello, and welcome to another bag update. So, I have shared this bag on my channel previously, and I've also shared it on my blog. This bag is originally from Topshop. It has a Chanel style to it with the flap, as you can see. And originally when I purchased this, I think in 2017, it had a shiny jacquard camouflage style fabric here that was khaki and interwoven with a shimmering sapphire royal blue. Unfortunately though, for whatever reason this bag wasn't up to Topshop's usual quite good standards for leather bags, and I must admit that whilst I love the shape of the bag, the structure of the bag, a lot of things about the bag really did disappoint me. And those are things such as the gunmetal hardware has scratched. Originally, the first bag that arrived turned up and it had glue marks here on the fabric. It was really damaged. So I sent it back and this was the replacement. But I never really fell in love with the bag. And I must admit, Christmas of last year, I was looking at this bag and I did a lot of clearing out of my wardrobe last year, and this very nearly made the cut within the clearing, but I was staring at it and I had an idea. I love the bag. The thing that I hated was the fabric, and it's got a fairly simple construction to it, and my very excellent cobbler friend Dean is brilliant with pretty much most projects, and I thought, how about instead of donating or selling the bag, I give it to Dean and I give it a makeover. So I do a lot of sewing, so I've always got a lot of fabrics hanging around, and this fabric here is one I've had for a long time. I had a toss up between two fabrics, this or a black gingham that I have that has a rainbow check running through it in yellow, lemon yellow, cerise pink, neon orange, and a royal blue on a black background. And I've actually saved that for another project. So I chose this very lovely check tartan that is actually a grey background that has teal, black and white running through it. This is a fabric that I've had for a very, very long time. And I mean, like, I bought this fabric back in like 2012, 13. Unfortunately, the place I bought it from no longer exists, but I gave this to Dean back in December with a whenever you've got 5 minutes, and he's very kindly given this bag a makeover. So what's happened is, it is stuffed at the moment. This entire flap here has been taken apart, and this fabric has completely been replaced with this very lovely check, and the same here, he's done the inner pocket. It's completely been taken apart, new fabric inserted, stitched, and then he's put the bag back together. Fairly basic inside, but this bag, do you know what? I actually now love this bag, honestly. It's completely unique, and I love the fact it's got all these blues in it. It's similar to my favourite Celine blue, and I am really looking forward to actually using this when everything's over and done with. And not only have I've literally paid for the labour on having it done because I supplied the fabric and it's a bag I already had, but it's giving a new lease of life to a bag that previously I wasn't very madly in love with. The only other change that was made, which I actually made last year, but he's tidied up for me because it's got one thing I was really disappointed at, considering the rest of the quality of the bag, is the one thing, sorry, I wasn't disappointed with, is the bag chain. The chain's really heavy, it's got a decent weight to it, but the problem is it was really floppy. So I ended up threading through this faux leather strip through just to give it some stability. I appreciate people may think, oh, you're just trying to make it look like a Chanel, but to be honest with you, I have narrow shoulders and it was driving me nuts that unless I wore this crossbody, it would never stay on my shoulder, and it was forever slipping off. And it's quite a heavy chain, as you can hear, and you know, when that hits you, it hurts. So I'm quite glad. But what he very kindly did is he tidied up the ends where unfortunately it had come undone, But he's glued that up for me there, so it looks all neat and tidy. But I adore this. I think it's such a good idea, and it's such a lovely way of revamping a bag that previously I wasn't really that mad about, whereas now, actually, it's completely unique. It's got components of it that I love, and it's amazing what you can do with a simple idea. And there's a lot of really fantastic bits and pieces that I own that he's moved straps on, fixed, tidied up, etc. for me. So I'm actually really pleased to have this back in my collection. It's quite a thick bag, as you can see. I think they were trying to model it on like the Chanel boy bag style thing. But I mean, I bought this with gift vouchers back, as I said, back in 2017. It was quite an expensive bag that was reduced down to like £15. And considering the quality of the materials and construction, I can understand why. And I would never personally have paid the full price for it. I mean, things about it that I can't change that would have disappointed me forever are things like this. You can see the scratching from where the turn lock's been turned around on it quite a lot, whereas I have bags that I bought secondhand that are from 2011 that have the same kind of colour hardware and they have no scratches on them from use or anything. And I will say this is probably the last leather bag I bought from Topshop directly. Most of my other bags have been bought secondhand, but I love the craftsmanship and what he has done. And the reason I really wanted to share it with you was to give you an idea of that if you know somebody who can, that you can give a bag that you may not necessarily love anymore a new lease of life, be it new fabric like mine. You can get bags. You can have new chains put on them, you can have them cleaned, you can have them dyed. I mean, a really good person I can recommend, I've not used them myself, but I've seen some excellent results from other people's things, is the Restory. They deal in designer handbags, and, you know, they'll dye things, they'll clean things up, they'll completely restore stuff. This I'm lucky because I know somebody who has the skill set to do it. But if you have got like old leather bags and things like this that maybe a strap's broken and you're thinking, oh, I love my bag, or, you know, it's scuffed and it needs a colour restoration, if you can find a good independent cobbler, go for it. I've got excellent results here. He is fantastic. I will link his Instagram below. I really love this. I'm looking forward to using this. And you know what? What's nice is I can use this all year round because it's got loads of different colours in it. And it feels more grown up than the previous bag did. And let's be honest, as beautiful as jacquard is as a fabric, it's not really designed for something like a handbag. And the other thing I am a bit disappointed with Topshop's design on this is that there's nothing between. My friend has very kindly put interfacing to stiffen this and protect it, but there was nothing behind the fabric, just this. And that is kind of disappointing when you think about it, because, you know, Topshop for many years were very renowned for doing fantastic bags, making beautiful things. And, you know, I've got, as I've said, I've got bags that I've had for years and years and years that, considering they're only 6 years apart, the quality from this wouldn't touch that. But I feel like this has only been improved because my friend has very kindly worked on it and made it better. Made this bag something actually I now want to use. Because quite often I will reach for it and I want to use it, but I'd be afraid to wear it out because of the fragile nature of what was the fabric previously. Whereas this has been waterproofed and I'm not afraid to use it now. So I just wanted to share this with you. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Be safe, stay home, etc.